Hello my fantastic subscribers, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, well, welcome here. Today we're going to be making a huge or oversized Tootsie Roll. These are just decorations, not the real thing. I have come across these oversized ornaments and I am totally enthralled with them. So if you are interested in making more of these, please subscribe to my channel and make sure you hit the bell so that way you will be notified as soon as I upload the next video. And so we're gonna get started on that. So I'm using a gift bag that I got from the Dollar Tree because I had looked through the section to try to find a dark colored construction paper or poster board or anything dark colored brown. I could not find anything, and so I was just walking around the store trying to find something, and I spotted these gift bags and it was the color I was looking for, so I went ahead and grabbed one of those. These particular gift bags come in packs of 2, so you can actually make 2 Tootsie Rolls if you'd like. So the first thing is to open up these bags, and so just make sure you're as careful as you possibly can because you don't want to rip the bag, because this is going to be the focus of your Tootsie Roll. So I've already removed this handle off this one, and you got to be very careful, so I'm going to show you how to do it with this handle. It is layered on there, so you're going to pull off the first layer very carefully because you don't want to rip the bag, and as you're removing it, it does start to thin the bag, so be very careful. So now that we got the first layer off and the handle, I'm going to go ahead and remove the second layer. And this takes time. Just enjoy the process. Don't rush yourself. Using Reynolds wax paper, I'm just cutting a strip of that. The size is going to vary. It's going to depend on the size of Tootsie Roll that you're going to make. So I'm going to make 2 Tootsie Pops. This first one I cut a piece of the roll from a wrapping paper, the center that's in the roll of the wrapping paper. And the next one we'll use something else. So we're going to complete this one first and then we'll go on to that one. So I decided to go ahead and stuff the inside of this cardboard with just regular bags, plastic bags, because if you remember how a Tootsie Roll looks, it actually has the end, each end is rounded. And so I didn't want to just twist that wax paper and then it would end up just slowly tearing because of the harsh edge of that cardboard. So we're going to go ahead and just stuff in some plastic bags there. Now that I have it each end set, I'm going to go ahead and roll this cardboard in the wax paper. And then we're going to just use a few pieces of tape to secure it in place. I also got this particular paper as in a packet from the Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just going to cut a couple strips, just 2, because we just need a red strip on each side. Now I went ahead and fastened the red strips on either side of the brown paper. I use tape. You can use glue. It's up to you what you want to do. So I'm going to point out a couple things on how wide to cut your paper. Make sure your paper doesn't end up wider than the cardboard roll. Make sure that your plastic bag edge is still sticking out and not covered by the paper. The second part is to make sure the red paper also does not go past the cardboard roll, and the same with the brown. You make sure that's smaller or not as wide as the cardboard roll. It's basically tapering off. And now that we've wrapped the paper around, we have some extra, so we're going to just go ahead and cut that off. I'm just using a little bit of Elmer's glue to adhere the paper to itself. And while this is drying, I'm going to set this aside and move on to the second Tootsie Roll. So as you can see, I'm using a V8 splash bottle. I went ahead and grabbed it out of my recycling bin, and I went ahead and cut the top off. Just the top, because I want to keep the rounded edge, but since this is concave, we need it convex. But I went ahead and taped off the sharp edge from where I cut the top off, because I didn't want it to cut into the wax paper. And for the bottom, I went ahead and rounded one of the little plastic bags and placed it into that void there to create the convex look, and went ahead and taped it with some packing tape. Since this bottle is so large, I went ahead and had to cut a piece of wax paper and roll the bottle with it this direction first, tape that off, and then we're gonna have to cut another section or another sheet of wax paper and do it the way we did before. Because if we don't do it this way, we end up with a gap, as you can see right there. See how we end up with this gap? And it's just exposed plastic, and we need it to make sure it's all covered. And the steps from here on are exactly the same. Now, for the actual wording Tootsie Roll, I went ahead and used a stencil and traced out the letters on white paper, just regular printing paper, and cut those out. And then I'm going to just use regular glue, the Elmer's glue I was using a while ago, and I went ahead and just glued those onto the paper, and you have your oversized Tootsie Roll.